We don't smoke marijuana in Muskogee. We don't take our trips on LSD.
Whether the younger generation was presented as drugged-out hippies or anti-war protesters, conservative America reacted with a fear and hatred that threatened to pull the country apart.
Being free. And I'm proud to be a from Muskogee. Place where even squares can have a ball. We still wave old glory.
This is Fire Support Base Aries, 50 miles northeast of Saigon. Vito is a 20-year-old draftee from Philadelphia. A photographer before he entered the Army, Vito is now a squad leader, responsible for the lives of a dozen men.
Well, it's a 12-gauge shotgun. What we basically use it for on the LZ and I guess even out in the field, so if you want to know, is that we use the shotgun from a ball. You know, you just put the ball in the chamber and all. Paul, let me borrow that ball from you. I heard this is probably all SIDS and we're getting busted, but I don't care.
Shotgun.
What's happening here is also happening to some extent at virtually every other American installation in Vietnam. Recent surveys estimate that well over 50% of the soldiers in Vietnam use marijuana.
You get really stoned. Then, you know, who cares about the war? This war.
It is time for an honest look at the problem of order in the United States. So I pledge to you, we shall have order in the United States.
Manipulating the fears of what he termed the silent majority, Richard Nixon built his campaign for the presidency around an emotionally charged central issue, restoring law and order. And it worked. As president, Nixon was determined to be seen as the toughest crime fighter ever. But most crimes fell under state jurisdiction, so Nixon wasn't allowed to get involved. However, there was one area where the federal government did have power: drug crime. Early in his first term, Nixon launched Operation Intercept, a military-style exercise officially described as the country's largest peacetime search and seizure operation. In it, 2,000 customs agents were deployed along the Mexican border. Their orders: stop the marijuana.
This is the biggest mistake the government of the United States has made, and the biggest offense they have done to the Mexican people.
I think it's excellent. I think if it stops the marijuana flow in Los Angeles and the southern cities, I think it's excellent. If it doesn't, then I think our time is wasted.
Although more than 5 million American and Mexican citizens passed through this dragnet, practically no marijuana was intercepted. After 3 weeks, Operation Intercept was abandoned.
Tengo los varitos, over. ¿Has traído la salsa caliente? Over. Sí, es muy sabrosa. Over. También, vámonos a un picnic. De ver el sitio de picnic.
Now, even more determined to appear tough on crime, Nixon poured federal money into equipping, training, and educating local police forces across America.
In the day-to-day conduct of your police duties, no matter how or for what reason you're called to investigate a situation in a residence, use your eyes to detect evidence of marijuana, hashish, or narcotic violations. The evidence you're looking for is here, all right. But it has to be located before you can read it. Use your eyes. Ashtrays are logical places to use your eyes for evidence of marijuana violations. There are some noticeable differences between a marijuana or grass joint and the butt of an ordinary cigarette, clearly visible even at a distance to those who use their eyes. This, of course, is marijuana itself, the best evidence of all. It has distinctive characteristics. Learn them. Use your eyes. It also has a distinctive aroma, so use your nose as well as your eyes.
Police officer, open the door.
Inside, come on. At 232, what's going on, please?
Look right here.
As arrests skyrocketed, the convictions were no longer limited to minorities. Now most of the people serving time were white, middle-class American kids.
Why do you smoke marijuana?
It's really very simple. I smoke it because I enjoy it.
It doesn't worry you that you're breaking the law?
Sure, it worries me. I mean, it worries me because I don't want to get caught. I do not want to go to jail for something that I can consider a pleasure and harmless to both society and myself. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not hurting myself. Why should I be punished for it?
And you may see me today with an illegal smile. It don't cost very much, but it lasted a long while. Won't you please tell the man I didn't kill anyone? No, I'm just trying to have
When Don Crow was convicted of selling marijuana to an undercover agent, there seemed reason for hope. It was his first offense, after all, and the amount had been small, less than 1 ounce. But the jury saw its duty. Sentence, 50 years in prison. For Crow, 25 years old, newly returned from Vietnam, it was a bitter pill.
I had the feeling that I was fighting for my country and for my fellow man. And it is kind of depressing to know that I should come back and be given 50 years for allegedly selling some a lid of marijuana.
This is a Purple Heart that he received the first time that he was wounded.
There is a mother's pride as Mrs. Crow recounts Don's military record, but it is hard for her. He loved his country, she says. He was a good boy.
Well, we were naturally so proud of him when he was over there, and when he came back and all this happened, well, of course, I've just been heartbroken, and I think it is a little severe penalty.
I don't think that a kid should have their entire future career blighted by having an arrest record for being caught in a room where marijuana was kept, or for smoking a joint of marijuana when they're a kid in college or a young kid. And that's exactly what happens.
Everyone here seems to emphasize the kids. How can you communicate with them when they got flowers in their ears where they can't hear, and hair down to their hip pockets?
The young person, other minority group members have a much greater chance of being arrested and are arrested. And if this continues, we're going to decimate the youthful population of America. That's exactly what's going to happen.
If any one of us has a kid who's arrested, there's going to be an arrest for a narcotic violation on his record for the rest of his life. He can't go in the Peace Corps, he can't teach school, he can't be a cop.
What's the difference? If he committed murder, he'd have an arrest record.
Fine, if he committed murder, he's harmed someone.
Can any law be effective, especially a law dealing with marijuana, when there is so much controversy from so many eminent people?
No law can be effective that actually that tries to regulate or legislate private morality. You can't make homosexual laws effective. You can't make. Could you pass a law that says it's a crime to masturbate? You couldn't enforce it. There's laws on the book that say thou shalt not fornicate either, and you wouldn't go around arresting kids for fornicating.
I know the law, I would.
You don't even know it's against the law. You're a hell of a cop.
As a matter of fact, sex is illegal in most of America.
Everything's illegal in America. You know, it's illegal, immoral, or fattening. It's that simple.
I think we've come to somewhat of a conclusion here in that the law is not very effective.
No, it's not. How can it be effective when you have 10,000 kids in one city are being arrested in 1 year? The law is not effective.